Learn 24 travel tips and hacks that are going to make traveling easier for you. And it's not the common tips like roll your clothes or compare flight prices. I'm going to share with you secret travel tips that no one seems to be talking about. In the last 2 years, I've been on over 40 different flights. And because travel has increased significantly since 2020, you need to make sure you know these tips. Look for travel partners for cheaper flights. Airlines are like a family, and here are some screenshots of the airlines and their alliances. So let's say you're flying to Vancouver, Canada. You go on Air Canada and you see the ticket price. I know that United Airlines is in the same family or alliance as Air Canada. So I'm going to log on to my United Airlines account and I'm going to check for the flight. And as you can see, these are the same exact flights, 6 a.m. to 9:01 a.m. On United Airlines, they offer a basic economy that is cheaper than Air Canada. And yes, you will be on the same exact flight for cheaper. Check what airline your flight is powered by. Even though I am on the United Airlines flight, this flight is powered by Air Canada, so it's going to be an Air Canada plane. I also check in the Air Canada area. It's a little confusing. You're like, I booked on the United Airlines flight, but it's not a United Airlines flight. Now I'm on the Alaska Airlines flight, and if I want to use points, these are actually powered by Japan Airlines or Korean Air, even though I use the Alaska Air website. Now the reason why we do that is because sometimes there's seat availability in the partnered airlines that are priced differently, but it's going to save you money. I know you might be thinking that's not really easy to do, but once you understand these partnerships and these families, it's going to save you a lot of money and also make it easier for you to fly comfortably. If your flight has a layover somewhere, you can actually call that airline and request a stopover. Some airlines do it for free. Some airlines may want to charge a little bit, but it's still going to be cheaper than if you bought a separate ticket. So if you're feeling adventurous and you want to go to multiple countries, then it's okay to have a layover somewhere and kind of explore that city. Something I get asked quite often is how I book business class seats. So you really need to be flexible with your dates. Right now, there is a huge influx of people using credit card points for these hot seats that are really comfortable and have really good food. You can't just say, I want to go in the peak of summer and I want to leave on a Friday or a Saturday. Everybody's trying to do that. The sweet spot is actually to book these award seats 1 year in advance or 1 to 2 weeks before. And I actually booked my recent business class seat 3 days before I was flying out. I booked a refundable economy ticket, and then 3 days before I found a business class seat, booked that one, and canceled my economy seat. Maybe it was 2 days before, but it was worth it. Group trips. If you are planning a group trip, even if it's with one other person, you need to have a discussion on expectation. Do they want to do everything you want to do? Are they a nature person? Are they a foodie? Do they need rest days? This is what I always say. I'm so excited for our trip. I did start planning the itinerary, but anything could be moved and it's not set in stone. If there's certain things that you don't want to do, I'm totally fine if you want to do your own thing and then we can reconvene later, or we can do it all together. Just let me know. By the way, I usually tap out around 9 p.m. People are spending a lot of time and money to go on vacation, and so you want to make sure that everybody gets to have the experience that they want, and I like to verbalize here are the expectations. This is not just for travel, this is even in my everyday life. But anything that requires a ticket, I will try to book it in advance so I don't have to worry about it when I'm there. And a website I love to use, and they are today's sponsor, is Klook. It is a super easy and convenient site because it's also in your currency. So you can get a Shinkansen bullet train ticket on Klook. You can get the JR Pass on Klook, and this is one of my favorite stories. When I was in Korea, my family wanted to go up to the Namsan Tower. It's actually pretty expensive to buy the tickets there, but I found the tickets on Klook. It was so much cheaper than me buying it at the window at the Namsan Tower. I just quickly ordered all of the tickets on Klook. They emailed me within 5 minutes, and then we were up in the Namsan Tower. So Klook really saved my butt, as I also treated my entire family to go up the tower. So you can see all of the prices, and Klook always has flash deals and it ends up cheaper. So if there's any activity that you want to do, I definitely recommend checking out Klook first to see if it's going to be cheaper for you and save you money. So make sure to check my link below and check out Klook. So whenever my friends and I are planning a trip, we also create a high, medium, and low priority list, just making sure that everybody gets the experience that they want. After we have a list of what everybody wants and what's a high priority that we've got to make happen, then we start to time block based on regions. But you also have to stay flexible because there are some things that are outside of our control. Also, make sure to make your Google Sheets available offline. Pinned maps is one of my favorite things to use, especially if you've never been to the city that you're going to. So you start a new map and then you literally just start typing the places you want to go to and you start pinning them. I also like to color code it based on experiences or food or cafes, because those are the groupings that you kind of want to dedicate your day to. Then it prevents you from going back and forth to the same exact city. In my Japan itinerary, I also share my Japan pins so you can see my map as well. In terms of knowing what to do or where to go, I usually check YouTube videos, TikTok, and then travel blogs. But with travel blogs, I also make sure to check what year it was posted. But TikTok tends to give me pretty recent advice. Or you can watch my videos too to the countries I've been to. For packing, to make your life easier, you want to get an AirTag. Something I also realized is that I should get an AirTag for my carry-on as well, because there are instances where the plane is full and they ask people to check in their bag even if it's a carry-on. But I did have a case when I went to Madrid. My luggage got lost. It was somewhere in London and I was in Spain, and I was able to track it before all the baggages were even out. I knew already my luggage is still in London, and I went straight for the baggage claim office before everybody else. I knew mine is not here. Organization. Since I travel so much, I actually have double of my skincare products but in a travel size, and then I put it in my travel bag and I literally just take it with me wherever I go. Also, make sure to pack PJs in your backpack or something that you know won't have to be checked in, because you never know. If your luggage gets lost, you're going to want a change of clothes. Next, wear your heaviest clothes to prevent having to pay for an overweight bag. This happened to me when I was in Korea. I tend to pack pretty minimally unless my family wants me to bring back gifts for everybody. So I literally wore 2 jackets and also tied a jacket around my waist, and it worked. Let's talk about the flight. I know a lot of people have a fear of flying. I actually once saw this TikTok that explained turbulence and why we don't have to be afraid. Kind of like an airplane that's in the middle of jello, where even if it's shaking and jiggling, you're safe and you're not going to just fall. But I actually heard this tip from a pilot's wife who shared that when you are facing turbulence, you want to try writing with your opposite hand, because it's going to distract your brain from the fear of what's going on as you just try to focus and write with your opposite hand. For me, I like to think of it as I'm on a roller coaster. It's like, woo! And I'm not afraid because I like roller coasters. Request the emergency aisle if it's possible after the check-in window is completed. Usually if you do it before, then they're going to want your money. But after the check-in process is all over and they see there's availability in the emergency aisles, you can ask them if they can move you, and they'll usually do it for free. But you must be 15 or older, and you must be willing to help if anything happens. Some airlines though, the emergency aisle seats do not recline back, so just be mindful of that. Upgrade requests. If you use a third-party site like Expedia or Booking.com or Priceline, the airlines are going to tell you, sorry, we can't do anything and we can't upgrade your flight until 24 hours before your flight. Right at 24 hours, it actually gets released from these third-party sites, and your flight and your ticket and your seat now belongs fully to the airline, and they have a little more control over what they can do for you. But if you book directly through the airline, you can actually bid for an upgrade, and it is a lot more affordable than just buying directly. If I do not have a sleeping mask with me, I usually throw the blanket over my head, and that's a nice way to just create a darker environment and go to sleep. I also always sit in the aisle because I pee every hour, and I'm not about to ask someone every hour if I can get up or crawl over them. And I'm also pretty tall, so the aisle seat gives me a lot more room. Also, if you happen to have an infant or you're traveling with a baby, there's actually a section of international planes where you can have a bassinet. And I saw this on my British Airways flight of these families, and they put their baby buckled into a little bassinet, and they didn't have to carry their baby on the flight. For hotels, for cheap bookings, there is a site called Agoda, and a lot of my friends use it. I've used it, but it's actually cheaper if you go on TripAdvisor.com, go to the hotel that you wanted to book on Agoda, but go through it through TripAdvisor, and I don't know why, but it ends up being a little bit cheaper. It's like a TripAdvisor trick. But again, if you book with a third-party site like these travel sites, sites, you're not going to get upgrades and things as easily as if you book directly with the hotel. But I usually will use my American Express card to check for any deals and look at the American Express travel portal, or I'll look at Expedia. Hotel check. Make sure when you get to the hotel, you put your luggage in the bathroom and then you check for bed bugs. If they don't have carpet, you're probably safe because bed bugs like to crawl on carpet, so they can get to your luggage even if you just put it on the ground. Now you want to be mindful of that. I had a teacher friend who dealt with bed bugs and she brought it home with her, and it was just a huge mess. Took so much cleaning and it took like a whole week to disinfect their whole house. So it's a lot to deal with. It just takes, 10 seconds to just check under your bed and make sure there are no bed bugs. And make sure your hot water works. If there's any issues with your hotel room, they are able to switch you out. But if you've already stayed in it, it's kind of like, oh, I have to like now move all my stuff. Also ask for an upgrade at the front desk if it's a special occasion. If it's your birthday, honeymoon, anniversary, it's okay to tell them that and say, it's our anniversary, do you happen to have any upgrades? Your hotel does not have a microwave. You can actually use the iron to heat up your food, especially if your food it can be wrapped in aluminum foil. You can just kind of press it like a little panini presser. It'll help heat up your food. And if you can't use the fridge because it's going to trigger you getting charged, you can go to the ice machine, grab a bunch of ice in a plastic bag, and then you can put it in the sink or in the bathtub, and that's your little makeshift fridge. But also make sure to go to a grocery store prior to you starting your trip so that you can stock up on water, snacks, or things that's going to help you feel more comfortable and not have to eat out every second. Some snacks I like to get are apples, bananas, granola bars, things that are a little more nutrient dense. Next is an eSIM or getting internet. I was a pocket Wi-Fi girl. I was like, I don't understand eSIMs. I don't know how to do it. So I'm just gonna get something I know, which is a pocket Wi-Fi, where it's literally Wi-Fi following you everywhere. You just connect your phone to the little egg. The downside to that is that you need to carry the egg with you, so it takes up real estate in your purse. You also need to charge the Wi-Fi egg, so you need to have an external battery always with you, because if your Wi-Fi egg dies, you have no internet. Now you don't know how to get back to your hotel. So that was the downside. eSIMs, you just need your phone, and it's very reliable and it's very fast. I chose Ubiggy because on Reddit, everyone agreed that Ubiggy is one of the best eSIMs because it has 5G pretty much everywhere. I never had anything below 5G. Pretty much never had anything below 5G when I was roaming around Spain or Japan. It's fantastic. And once you download the eSIM to your phone, literally all you have to do is buy a new plan for a new country, turn it on, done. Different countries cost a different amount. For a week, I tend to use about 5 gigabytes, and if they don't have that option, I'd rather just have more than not enough. I also use my phone a lot. Next, if your flight is delayed more than 3 hours, you are entitled to some compensation. Now, you can email the airline and let them know, or you can ask the front desk if there's any vouchers or anything that they could do given that it's delayed. Same with luggage as well. So I always like to book all of my flights with a credit card that has travel insurance. So my Chase Sapphire Preferred, as well as my American Express Platinum card and my Bilt Rewards card, they all offer some type of travel insurance or rental car insurance. But more often than not, the airline should directly be compensating you. 2 years ago, my Southwest Airlines flight was delayed 5 hours, and the person at the front desk gave us a voucher, then I emailed, and then Southwest gave us another voucher separately through email. Lounges. If you do happen to find yourself in a situation where you are stuck at the airport for a long period of time, you can actually get a day pass for some of these lounges if you don't have a credit card that has lounge access. Now, what's nice about lounges is that there's food, there's really clean bathrooms, and you're in an environment that's a little quieter and everybody's kind of working and chilling, and you can refill your water bottle with clean filtered water. So those are little travel tips and hacks that I have been using. Let me know which one was new to you or something that you found helpful in the comments below. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Please, 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 as that really helps me. And thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. Bye!